All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's not over yet. We got plenty of StarCraft 2 for you. It's now tied 1 versus 1. Polt versus Hero. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Clutch. Map number 3 will be Cloud Kingdom. I have no idea what to expect from these two players. Hero is just playing out of his mind right now. I don't know if he can lose against Terran.
Yeah, I mean, currently up 2-0. You think about the last tournament appearances he's had, going 4-0 with Tasia, and then 3-0 with Tasia, and now 2-0 with Polt. That's quite good. I mean, it is honestly virtually impossible to have lost not even a single map at this point, but if you're in Polt's shoes, you feel terrible, because right now you're thinking, all right, now I got to scout for another pylon. And every single player's had that experience where they have a loss like that and thinks, I hope nobody saw.
Bad luck for Polt. A lot of people watching that one.
There were a non-zero number of people watching that last game.
Now, the good news is this is a best of 7. Polt is not on the brink of elimination yet. He's down 0-2, but he can still bounce back. He has a lot of time. And I think Cloud Kingdom is the perfect place for him to start piecing that comeback together. It's a map where I think certainly the kind of macro games that Hero likes to play should play into the kind of macro games that Polt likes to play.
Yeah, it's all going to come down, though, to the retreat angles of the Marine Marauder in the mid game. The fact is that in other matchups, it's counterattack paths you describe this as, but in this situation, in TVP, you can load up into your medevacs, retreat back over the ridge. It's hard for Protoss to follow. It's equally good to do those force fields to trap the Terran forces.
That's exactly right, Sean. I think we are almost ready to jump into game, as we can see our versus screen popping up right there. Polt and Hero. Both these guys have come so very far, 9 weeks of regular season play. Cloud Kingdom. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, the red Protoss player leading 2-0, Liquid Hero.
And down in the bottom left from Team TSL, recently having an incredible run at IPL 5. Can he do it again here at the NASL Season 4 Grand Finals? It is Polt. This has got to be my favorite map in the entire map pool. Almost every strategy works magnificently on it. There's so many places for different attack angles, different expand angles. I mean, interestingly, we've been seeing a lot of players take this as their third in Terran versus Protoss, just due to the fact that it helps always force engagements in a more open position, in a more retreat-friendly position for that Marine Marauder medevac mid-game.
It's a very dynamic map through all phases of the game. There's tons of early game shenanigans that you can fall back on. There's a lot of options for mid-game aggression, and of course, late game, it is very fun as well, as it kind of becomes a battle for 4th bases or 5th bases, as you're forced to always kind of move down to the low ground eventually.
Yeah, and especially the fact that the expansions are outward. You end up moving away from the center of the map when you have more and more stuff to defend. Makes everything feel so vulnerable. And that's always always a sign of how well the Protoss is playing, is how many pylons are hidden about that map. Given this early command center, I pretty much would expect Hero to go for the straight Nexus. Oh, and with no gas mine and no core started, it's looking just like that.
Once again, that's exactly what he's going to do. One of the things that blows me away most about Hero, Sean, is I've already told the story. He stayed at my house for a few days this past week, and he just wasn't sweating it, man. He didn't stress at all. He sat back on the couch, watched a lot of Korean movies, didn't practice a lot of StarCraft, didn't even know there was a patch. So like, Hero, what do you think about the patch? Patch?
Patch?
Heart of the Swarm patch? No, Wings of Liberty patch. There was patch.
As it turns out, they nerfed the Infestor, and he was like, well, that wasn't a problem in the first place anyways.
And I guess the one thing that I can say about Hero is he always exudes confidence, man. From sitting on the couch with his feet up eating popcorn to trying to manor pylon.
He really wants to plant that pylon down there.
Oh my
God! No way! In the semi, he's trapped 3 of those SCVs. All right.
Oh.
Now, if we head back home, the question is he chrono boosting Warp Gate?
No, he's expanding. Well, no, he's not chrono. He's chrono boosting a Stalker. That's still very annoying.
Oh my gosh.
Almost.
Denied.
Almost, little guy. It's okay. We'll still send a flag to your family.
Well, he was pretty much unable to mine from those 2 patches for an extended period of time. Now the depot's going down. This is a pretty important part for the... Yes, go ahead and clap. That's great. He killed off the probe! Yes! Oh, the Terran fans. Can we celebrate now? Celebrate, my friends. He's doing it. This is also another really critical place to plant the depot, so that way he can't do that DT warp-in harass.
That's right. Right now, Hero is going to return back to chrono boosting his probes, as he does have a single stalker out of the map, just going to chase this SCV across, make sure that Polt has no vision, has no idea what's going on around him. 3rd command center going down for Polt now, so he's going to play the super greedy macro game this time.
I like this quite a lot on this map. I mean, controlling this ramp, you don't actually need to have a bunker down. I mean, Polt has already spotted the timing of this Nexus, and it's very easy to know if it's a quick Nexus or not by seeing its hit point or by just clicking on the minerals and reading how much has been mined. And we're seeing Hero go for the very standard defensive 3-gate play, and for every other player, I would call it defensive, but Hero has a tendency to always attack when he goes for those 3 gates.
And it's really crazy how effective it can be if you catch your opponent at awkward angles at good times. There is going to be a bunker, though, for Polt, so he's going to be mostly completely safe. Certainly with this number of Marines out.
And that is a very suspiciously angled probe moving by. Polt no doubt going to have at least something to consider in that regard.
Already sees the pylon, completely aware of what's up, so he will at least be able to deal with that later. Probably can't afford to send any units over just yet. Meanwhile, he is getting his first tech lab.
Did he see the warp in? Now, it looks like Hero is just going to be retreating with this, but it looks like Hero is actually not going to be retreating with this.
Wow. This is a very eager couple of units. These sentries are out for blood.
This is a nice timing, but generally you're aiming to strike at around 7:30 or even as early as 7:15 with a lot more units than this. Actually, around 11 units at the 7:15 mark if you do it as aggressively as you can. So Hero's going to have some sort of backup plan churning up. This is very smart. Hero's actually not intending on making this the big, aggressive, all-in type move, or even just a big aggressive attack. He's just trying to freak Polt out.
And mission accomplished. Polt is pulling SCVs off the line. He's built a 2nd bunker. I mean, he is very paranoid about the potential for some heavy, heavy gateway aggression. And it's all just a feint, man. Hero is not committed to this.
This was a brilliant pullback by Polt. If these were at the front, the whole goal for Hero was to force field and shove a few SCVs forward and pick those off. Nope. Manages to get one.
One dead SCV and a very angry Zealot as he got kind of shot up, but he does walk away.
And so far, we're seeing Hero essentially transition back to the exact same style that he was doing in the first game. Single Colossus straight into double Forge. Ooh, but look at this. He's actually not going to be going straight up for the Gateway, or excuse me, for the Twilight Council. He's going for the range, which is very much so what he's been doing a lot on this map.
Do you see this turning into 2-base aggression, or is he still going to be playing passively?
You know, I actually saw him do a style very similar to this recently. I believe it was in the Iron Squid tournament, where he's going to way overbuild Colossus as he takes this 3rd base. Like, get 7 or 8 Colossus, way more than your average Protoss player would. So what does a Terran do? Builds a huge number of Vikings. However, because he has so many, he's going to end up getting a ton, or the Colossus pack's going to get a ton of extra swipes off. And meanwhile, in the background, Hero's built up a huge number of gateways, 13 or so. So he ends up with this really odd mass Colossus into heavy Zealot Archon, and it's really difficult to deal with that as Protoss, because you just don't quite have the ghosts, because you've built, like, what, 20 Vikings?
Now, Hero has seen this third command center floating forward. Polt also seeing that observer. So Hero's going to try to put on a little bit of pressure here. Thermal Lance not quite ready. But those are really good force fields, catching a lot of Marines. Polt is way out of position, and this just got really scary. More great force fields by Hero, and Polt in a terrible position.
How on earth is Hero finding this awkward attack timing? Polt's going to have to pull back. I mean, the 1 Colossus, no range, 5 Stalker push, that's not an attack. He just decided to do that. But again, this is what makes Hero such a phenomenal player. Just identify that absolutely magnificently.
Oh, Stalker's a little bit overexposed. There's no sentries here with this army, but this Colossus, a formidable opponent, forces Polt to fall back even still. There is a pylon nearby, so Hero can continue to warp in reinforcements. He's got a 2nd Colossus crossing the map, and this might just turn into a pseudo-Squirtle push, although he is taking the 3rd base.
Third base going up behind it. We're seeing 1-1 almost done. Polt denying any additional pylons. We see a a lone Colossus making his way towards the rest of the army.
Ooh, don't go that way, Colossus.
We're seeing a lone Colossus saying,
No,
kill
I
me!
wanna go back.
Oh my God, Polt
Run.
manages to get himself to free Colossus.
Oh, sad Colossus. Polt kind of, that kind of is a good way to bounce back, basically nullifying any damage he took from the little initial poke. Will immediately retake his third base.
You know, this is what we were talking about earlier, that Hero does have a tendency to kill himself in a lot of these games, and that is a prime example of it, just waltzing a Colossus right into the middle of nowhere. But even so, I mean, you look at the units lost tab.
Still enjoys, well, I guess it's about even-ish,
Wow.
pretty close. It does have a faster third base, though, which is going to work nicely in his favor. 63 harvesters to 61 harvesters, so very even economically in that regard. The mules do mean that Polt will mine a little bit more minerals than Hero will, but I don't think that's going to bother Hero too much. Supply is quite even. Upgrades are continually being chrono boosted.
2-2 was a little bit delayed by some of those engagements at the front. Let's see how Hero plays this off. Ordinarily on this map, especially recently, we've been seeing him build a lot of Colossi, which is, of course, one of the easiest ways to defend yourself on 3 bases on this map. But now going for the hallucination. Oh, this hallucination play made a debut against Stefano in the BWC, where we saw him hallucinate 4 or 5 Colossus, and Stefano built way too many corruptors.
Uh-oh, Stalkers, why are you here? One Stalker down, and then the rest of them are running for the hills.
Oh my gosh. And Zealot Legs is not going to help them at all. Oh, they're in the corner. Oh, Hero, what's going on?
Oh, this is a huge, huge mistake. Every Stalker down, and Polt gladly accepts that donation. He's going to start getting aggressive after picking off that much free supply. I don't think he lost a single unit there.
I mean, that was just brutal. But yet again, what makes Hero so excellent in this matchup is his consistent counterattacks, starting from all the way on the right and making his way down to the third, getting a good chunk of workers.
Yeah. Picks off a handful of SCVs there, not as valuable as the 12 or so Stalkers he just lost, but it does sort of at least pull Polt back off the map and allows Hero to take back some map control. Here's that hallucinated Colossus push that we were talking about, but without the Stalkers, it's not the same kind of aggression.
And these hallucinated Colossus do have the range upgrade. So sort of like trickery at an incredible distance.
Incredibly ticklish long-distance trickery.
2-2 wrapping up right now. We're seeing Hero, again, add on so many gateways, up to 9 right now. Trying not to overbuild Colossus, but trying to reveal them to encourage more Viking production.
Yep. Storm also about halfway through completion, so as soon as that's out in play, I think Hero's going to feel a lot more safe. No sign of a 4th base for our Protoss player, but it looks like maybe Polt's thinking about taking one. He's clearing out these pylons. He's just securing that low ground.
This is what I love about Polt. He's getting his 4th command center before he gets a Ghost Academy. A lot of players are even getting their Ghost Academy as they take their 3rd base, trying to emphasize EMPs, but Hero, wow, he's going to be up to now 12, 14, 13 gateways? How many is this? I mean, 12 right now. I mean, just getting huge number, but having halted his Colossus production. Is he
gonna go for like a crazy 3-base all-in here? Maybe with 2? No, he's gonna start 3-3. So I guess he does want to take a 4th. Also at the pylon on the low ground. Will begin taking that expansion. Run Warp Prism. Why?
Warp Prism pulling back right now. Now Hero is in a really interesting spot. He's taking his 4th base. It's a little bit of the difficult, vulnerable 4th base, but he has 1 Colossus, so he can deal with Marine Marauder up on this high ground.
4 Colossi, Sean. More than enough. As Hero is going to push forward with these hallucinated Colossi. What is Polt going to think when he sees this?
4 hallucinated Colossus, and as you heard, there's more Vikings being produced, actually up to 12 Vikings, 32 Marauders, 30 Marines. Now again, by building so many Marauders, we're seeing Polt kind of hedge against this.
Zealots at the bottom of the map doing a lot of damage at the same time. Polt is pushing on the 4th base of Hero. Oh, it's a great storm. He's going to make these units fall back at least momentarily. A lot of warp ins here for Hero. Vikings going to make short work of the Colossi. But there is Storm. There's a lot of Zealots, but does Hero have enough? Polt with 190 supply right now.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't even matter if Hero effectively tricked Polt. Polt just has too many units. The Marauder arc is enormous. Sweeping up to the 3rd base. Hero has to fall back to higher ground. Does he even have any Templar with enough energy?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing at the 3rd base, and Hero is just overwhelmed right now. There's a great storm, and another Templar coming up from the natural expansion. Whoa, could he maybe barely hold right now?
Oh my gosh, if Hero manages to pull this off, he actually has an excellent drop. being executed up in the main base. Oh, it gets sniped off, so no more storms, but the Vikings land up in the high ground. Polt making incredible use of these useless units.
Polt has too much. Sean, he's going to kill the third base. The fourth is already gone, and the Vikings in the main are causing major headaches for Hero. His harassment squad down on Polt's side of the map has been dealt with, and I think Polt has finally struck back. Hero looks so invincible with a couple of mistakes here on Cloud Kingdom. Polt shows that he's not dead yet.
All these Vikings produced to deal with hallucinated Colossus. I mean, Polt demonstrating the power of macro in this game, showing versatility with these units after all the Colossi had been eliminated. Another excellent storm, but it is just not enough. Hero alive by the skin of his teeth at this point. 3-3 just finishing up. I just mean, look at the damage these Vikings dealt.
That one Immortal killed every Viking, by the way. 6 kills on him. He's not scared. He's not afraid.
I mean, again, just great response by Hero to continue making Immortals to halt that Colossus production. But I mean, Polt just making it look like it doesn't even matter, and yet, again, being really diligent about scouting out all the pylons.
Now, in spite of the fact that he's way, way behind here, Hero is still going to play it out. Does not feel like he wants to tap out just yet. Polt is up to 4 bases now. Planetary on the low ground, so he's going to be very difficult to assail. And I guess Hero's transition from here is just going to be Zealot, Archon, Immortal.
I mean, it almost has to be. We're seeing so many Marauders out of Polt. We're still seeing so many Marauders out of Polt.
A little bit of Storm harass down at the bottom of the map. He is going to kill off a couple of SCVs. That's a nice way to start clawing your way back into a game. But we're sort of approaching the point in the game where Polt doesn't really need that many SCVs. He can just kind of rely on the mules for his minerals and then mine gas.
More Zealots attempted in the harass, but there are way more Marauders than the average Terran player. I mean, Polt doing a great job of just sweeping through and killing off pylons. And look at the vision control of Hero. He's just walking into darkness. He has no idea what he's heading into.
Absolutely in the dark. And he's going to push forward once more, but Polt is completely maxed out. Should have no trouble dispatching this army. Immediately stims and turns around, and Hero's like, oh, I don't want to take this fight. Backs up to his High Templar. Decent storms. Actually, great storms going down.
Unbelievable storms from Hero, but unbelievable macro from Polt right now, still hanging at a whopping 123 army supply, 130 to the 40 of Hero.
Yep, it's a small disadvantage to say the least. Hero's in full retreat. Polt is going to push right across the map, and when he does push up this ramp, it'll probably be the final attack of the game. A couple of force fields are going to be thrown down just to try and buy more time.
That's never a good sign when you're desperately force fielding at the 22.5-minute mark. More ghosts coming in, the composition rounding out nicely, and I think most of all, 13 medevacs. He can kite forever.
Polt dropping mules 6 at a time on his 4th expansion, and here he comes, pushing up into the 3rd. More good storms from Hero.
He eats the storms in full brunt. Excellent EMPs going down. No more energy on all those Immortals. Can the storms be enough to help him stay alive?
I mean, he's constantly storming well, and Polt's not really microing out of it, but it just doesn't matter, Sean. He's got so many medevacs, so many units. There's nothing Hero can do. The Immortals will fall. The probes will come off the line.
And for the first game in many, Hero says GG.
Polt strikes back. The Terran player, the Terran Hope, still alive. Makes the score in the series 1-2. As we will be moving on to a 4th map in this best of 7.
You know, it's so funny. I mean, we started off the game talking about how indestructible Hero's been looking lately, and then we talked about that really weird 8 gateway unit, 1 no-range Colossus managing to successfully break the 3rd of Polt. I mean, Hero was looking to be in dominating form. And then very rapidly lost a Colossus and then 12 Stalkers and just could not get a foothold. It's one of those great examples of how if you make mistakes against Polt, you die so fast.
Absolutely, absolutely. And losing those Stalkers was a huge mistake. Guys, that last map brought to you by Kingston HyperX, their full line of solid-state drives and RAM, available for you at kingston-usa.com.
When we come back, we're going to be heading right into Game 4 of this epic best of 7, where right now Liquid Hero has just had his first PVT loss in 10 full games. Can he close it out, or will Polt have the beginnings of a comeback? Find out after this.